Why do some people build fortunes from nothing while others, equally talented, never succeed? What separates dreamers from doers, and what does it really take to think and grow rich? Welcome to Invested Intellect, where knowledge becomes wealth. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most influential self-development books ever written, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book isn't just about money. It's about building the mindset, habits, and focus that lead to any kind of success. And the best part? Everything we discuss is straight from the original pages, no fluff, just the real framework. So grab your notebook, open your mind, because by the end of this video, you'll know the exact 13 steps to riches that can transform your thinking, your finances, and your life. Chapter 1. Desire the starting point of all achievement. Napoleon Hill says, "Desire is the starting point of all achievement, not a hope, not a wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything." Let that sink in. This isn't about daydreaming or vague ambitions. It's about setting your heart and mind on a goal with laser focus and absolute determination. The 6-step method to turn desire into wealth. Hill gives us a clear 6-step formula to transform your desire into reality. Here it is. 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Don't just say, "I want to be rich." Be specific. For example, I want to earn $1 million. 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. Nothing comes for free. What value will you offer? Time, skill, product, service. What's your trade? 3. Set a definite date when you intend to possess the money. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. 4. Create a definite plan and begin at once, whether you're ready or not. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start moving. 5. Write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire, what you intend to give in return, the time limit, and your plan. 6. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once in the morning and once before bed. As you read it, visualize yourself already in possession of the money. Feel it. Believe it. These steps may sound simple, but practiced consistently, they have turned ordinary people into millionaires. Real-life inspiration. Edwin C. Barnes. Napoleon Hill gives us the inspiring story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who had one definite desire: to work with Thomas Edison. Not for him. With him. He didn't have money. He didn't have connections. But he had desire. And eventually, that burning desire led him to become Edison's partner. That's the power of a definite desire, backed by unwavering action. Here's your action plan. Get clear on what you want. Decide what you'll give in return. Set a deadline. Make a plan. Write it down. Repeat it daily with belief and emotion. Desire, when it's definite, backed by belief and action, becomes a magnet for success. But here's the question. How do you turn that desire into unshakable belief? How do you convince your subconscious mind that what you want is already yours, even before it happens? In the next chapter, we'll explore the magic of faith and how it acts as the fuel that makes your desire unstoppable. Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich. Faith, the visualization and belief in the attainment of desire. What is faith, according to Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill defines faith as, faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with thought, the subconscious instantly picks up the vibration and translates it into its spiritual equivalent. What does that mean? It means your thoughts become powerful when combined with belief. Just thinking about success won't do much. But thinking about success while deeply believing it is possible? That's when things start to move. Your belief system literally determines how your subconscious mind acts. And your subconscious controls your habits, decisions, and energy. How to build faith, the practice of autosuggestion. You weren't born with faith. You weren't born confident. But the good news? Faith is something you can create and train using repetition. Hill's tool for this is something called autosuggestion. It's the practice of telling yourself, over and over, what you want to believe until your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Here's how it works. Take the desire statement you created in Chapter 1. Read it out loud, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. Say it with emotion, belief, and certainty. Visualize yourself already in possession of what you desire. As you do this day after day, week after week, your subconscious will begin to accept this belief. And once that happens, your behavior, attitude, and results will align with your new belief. This is how you develop faith, through consistent mental programming. Why faith matters in the real world. Every successful person in history had unshakable belief in themselves. Henry Ford had no formal education, but he believed he could build a car for the masses. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but he never doubted the outcome. They had faith, not blind hope, but a belief born from a clear desire and strong visualization. And here's the key: if you don't believe in yourself, how can anyone else? Faith and the subconscious mind. Think of your mind like a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. Your faith is water and sunlight. And your subconscious mind is the soil. If you plant positive, powerful beliefs and nurture them with faith, they will grow into action, confidence, and achievement. But if you let doubt and fear take over, those weeds will choke your dreams before they even start. Faith is what lets you remove those weeds and replace them with purpose. Key takeaway for you: here's what you need to do starting today. Repeat your desire statement daily with emotion. Visualize your success as if it's already happened. Eliminate negative self-talk. Replace it with positive affirmations. Surround yourself with faith through books, mentors, and a belief system that supports your growth. As Hill says, faith is a state of mind that may be induced by autosuggestion. That means you have full control. But wait, here's a serious question. What if your mind is filled with negative beliefs? What if your subconscious has been conditioned by fear, doubt, and failure? How do you reprogram it? How do you go from being your worst critic to your own biggest supporter? In the next episode, we're unlocking Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the medium by which you can influence your subconscious mind. Chapter 3 of Think and Grow Rich, Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. What is autosuggestion? Napoleon Hill defines autosuggestion as self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between the conscious mind and the subconscious. Here's the big idea. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between truth and fiction. It simply accepts what you repeatedly tell it with emotion and conviction as truth. So, if you keep telling yourself you're capable, worthy, and destined for success, your subconscious will believe it and start acting accordingly. But if you constantly repeat that you're not good enough or that success is for other people, your mind will also believe that and sabotage your goals. Autosuggestion puts you back in control of your internal programming. How to use autosuggestion step by step. Hill gives us a formula to use this technique effectively. Here's how you do it. 1. Write down your clear, specific desire statement from Chapter 1. Include the exact amount of money or success you want, what you're willing to give in return, a specific date by which you'll achieve it, a plan to get started, even if incomplete. 2. Repeat it out loud at least twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed. 3. While repeating, close your eyes and visualize yourself already in possession of that goal. 4. Attach strong emotion to it, excitement, confidence, gratitude, as if it's already real. This repetition creates belief through emotional impact. Your subconscious begins to accept the idea, and once belief takes root, you'll begin taking actions aligned with that belief. Why it works. Real-world examples. Ever hear athletes say, "I saw myself winning before I ever stepped on the field"? That's autosuggestion in action. Arnold Schwarzenegger famously visualized himself as a bodybuilding champion long before he held a trophy. Jim Carrey wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered in the early 90s and visualized receiving it. Just a few years later, he was paid exactly that amount for Dumb and Dumber. They didn't just hope, they told their subconscious minds over and over what to believe until their reality matched their internal programming. Warning: autosuggestion works both ways. This power is neutral. It works whether you're feeding it positive beliefs or negative ones. That's why Napoleon Hill warns, through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, man weaves the pattern of his destiny. So ask yourself, what messages are you feeding your mind every day? Are you programming it for wealth or for worry? Your action plan today. Step 1. Write your desire statement clearly and boldly. Step 2. Read it aloud every morning and night. Step 3. Visualize success with emotion and belief. Step 4. Cut out negative self-talk. Replace it with intentional, empowering affirmations. Step 5. Be consistent. It takes time, but it works. You are reprogramming your mind, literally training your brain to think like a successful person so your behavior, habits, and outcomes align with that vision. But here's the big question. Even if you use autosuggestion, what if deep down you still feel fear? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing everything. How do you overcome the invisible enemy inside your own mind? In the next episode, we'll uncover Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge, the key to turning ideas into income and fear into power. Chapter 4 of Think and Grow Rich, and reveal why the right kind of knowledge is what separates dreamers from doers and rich from broke. General knowledge versus specialized knowledge. Napoleon Hill starts by drawing a bold line. General knowledge, no matter how vast in quantity or variety it may be, is of but little use in the accumulation of money. Wait, really? Yes, you can have degrees, diplomas, and endless book knowledge, but if you can't apply it to solve problems or create value, it won't create wealth. Specialized knowledge is different. It's focused. It's practical. It's actionable. It's the kind of knowledge that gets results in a specific area, whether that's sales, coding, social media, real estate, investing, or something totally unique. The myth of knowing enough. Many people say, "I'll start my business once I know more," or "I'm not smart enough yet." That mindset? It's a trap. Hill says, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find the knowledge, or who to ask. Think about it. Henry Ford wasn't a technical genius, but he built an empire by hiring people who had specialized knowledge. Steve Jobs wasn't the best engineer, but he had the vision, the drive, and he knew how to gather the right minds around him. You don't need to know it all. You just need to know what you need and how to get it. Sources of specialized knowledge. Hill gives us multiple ways to gain specialized knowledge. You can get it from personal experience, observations, apprenticeships or internships, online courses, books and mentors, mastermind groups. The key is to be a lifelong student. Never stop learning. Ask yourself, what knowledge can I gain today that would bring me closer to my goal? The power of organized plans. Specialized knowledge becomes powerful only when it's organized into definite plans of action. If you just consume information without applying it, it becomes mental clutter. But if you take that knowledge and turn it into a business idea, a side hustle, a career move, or a new product, that's when it creates wealth. So ask yourself, what do I know right now that could be turned into value? What can I learn next to get closer to my vision? Knowledge doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be applied. Action plan. How to develop specialized knowledge. Here's a practical system to follow. 1. Define your burning desire, the goal you're chasing. 2. Identify what specialized knowledge is needed to achieve it. 3. Make a list of skills, topics, or tools you need to learn. 4. Start learning books, videos, mentors, real-world practice. 5. Apply what you learn immediately. 6. Join forces with others, mastermind, to speed up the process. And remember this, the more value you can provide with your specialized knowledge, the more money you will earn. Real-world example. Let's say your goal is to earn 10 lakh rupees from an online business. General knowledge. Marketing is important. Specialized knowledge. I know how to run Facebook ads that convert leads for local businesses. General knowledge. People want to eat healthy. Specialized knowledge. I can design 30-day meal plans for diabetics using Indian recipes. Specialized knowledge creates confidence, clarity, and cash flow. Final takeaway. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to know everything. But you must become a specialist, someone who knows something well enough to use it, sell it, teach it, or turn it into income. And remember, specialized knowledge is never finished. It must be continuously upgraded, just like your phone, your laptop, or your skills. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. But what happens when you've got the desire, the belief, and the knowledge, but no action? How do you turn ideas into results? How do you make a decision that changes everything? In the next episode, we'll unlock Chapter 5, Imagination, the Workshop of the Mind. Chapter 5, Imagination, the Workshop of the Mind. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. In this chapter, Napoleon Hill introduces imagination as the power that turns desire into money. He calls it the workshop of the mind. There are two types. Synthetic imagination rearranges old concepts into new combinations. Most business ideas come from this. Creative imagination produces fresh ideas, inspirations, and flashes of insight. Hill's message is clear. All riches begin with an idea. But that idea must be expressed through imagination and then turned into action. If you want to succeed, don't wait for the perfect idea. Use what you know, apply it creatively, and keep experimenting. And here's the key takeaway. Imagination is a skill. The more you use it, the sharper it becomes. Now that you have the idea, how do you turn it into a real plan? Let's talk about Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Organized Planning, Turning Ideas into Action. Hill calls this the step where desire is turned into physical success. A plan is the bridge between thought and achievement. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it must be actionable. The process: write down a clear goal. Build a definite plan to reach it. Start immediately, even if you don't feel ready. If your plan fails, replace it with a better one. Never quit. Hill also introduces the idea of a mastermind group, a team of people who support your vision with their knowledge, skills, and experience. Success rarely happens alone. The big message: plans only work when backed by decision, persistence, and people. So here's the question. Even with a great plan, why do most people hesitate? The answer lies in Chapter 7, Decision. In the next video, we'll talk about how indecision destroys opportunities and how successful people train themselves to make bold, fast decisions and stick with them. Chapter 7, Decision, the Mastery of Procrastination. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. In Chapter 7, Hill reveals a major truth. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They take forever to decide and then change their minds often. Indecision is the twin of fear. It quietly kills more dreams than failure ever could. Hill studied hundreds of wealthy individuals. Every one of them had this trait: decisiveness. They knew what they wanted and committed to it. The takeaway is simple: don't wait. Don't overthink. Decide, then act. And if you fail, adjust. But don't let doubt hold you back. So if decision is power, what happens when you're pushed, rejected, or told no repeatedly? That brings us to Chapter 8, Persistence. Chapter 8, Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Hill says, without persistence you will be defeated, even before you start. This chapter teaches that success isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Persistence means continuing even when you feel tired, people doubt you. Results aren't immediate. Many quit right before a breakthrough. But those who persist develop belief, and belief creates results. Hill gives 4 steps to develop persistence. A clear purpose backed by burning desire. A definite plan. A mind closed against negativity. A supportive group. Your mastermind. Success is often not about being the best. It's about not quitting. But here's the next question. What if you're persistent but feel alone in your struggle? Then Chapter 9 will change everything. It's all about the power of the mastermind. Chapter 9, Power of the Mastermind, the Driving Force. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. In Chapter 9, Napoleon Hill introduces one of the most misunderstood secrets of success: the mastermind. What is it? It's the alliance of 2 or more people working together in harmony toward a definite goal. When minds come together with purpose, energy multiplies. Hill calls this combined force a third mind, greater than the sum of the individuals involved. This principle explains why lone geniuses often fail, but organized teams create empires. The key elements of a mastermind: shared purpose, mutual respect, consistent collaboration. Hill reminds us, no one climbs to success alone. Surround yourself with minds that challenge you, support you, and sharpen your vision. Here's the question. If you're surrounded by the right people, how do you unlock the full potential of your brain? That leads us to Chapter 10. Chapter 10, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, the Channeling of Energy. Hill takes a surprising turn here. He explains that sexual energy, the most powerful human drive, can be redirected into creativity, ambition, and productivity. This redirection is called sex transmutation. Rather than waste this energy on physical expression alone, the most successful people channel it into art, business, invention, and leadership. Why is this important? Because this energy is raw life force. And when properly focused, it becomes the fuel for genius. The most successful men and women are not only passionate, they know how to transform their emotions into action. Your goal: learn to direct energy toward your higher purpose. Control it. Channel it. Now here's the next big question. Even with energy and people around you, where do those great flashes of inspiration come from? We'll explore that in Chapter 11, The Subconscious Mind, the Bridge to Infinite Intelligence. Chapter 11, The Subconscious Mind, the Connecting Link. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. In Chapter 11, Napoleon Hill introduces the subconscious mind, a powerful force that connects your conscious thoughts with infinite intelligence. Here's the idea. Your subconscious works 24/7. It stores all your beliefs, emotions, habits, and memories, and responds to whatever you consistently feed it. If you feed it fear and doubt, it manifests failure. If you feed it desire, belief, and persistence, it creates success. Hill's key message: the subconscious doesn't judge. It simply accepts whatever thoughts dominate your mind and turns them into reality. How do you control it? Repetition of affirmations, strong emotion behind your thoughts, visualization of your definite goal. Your subconscious becomes your silent partner, working behind the scenes to guide your behavior, attract people, and reveal new opportunities. But here's the big idea. The subconscious mind is the gateway. But where does it get those flashes of genius? That brings us to Chapter 12. Chapter 12, The Brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. In this chapter, Hill explains that the human brain is both a transmitter and receiver of thought vibrations. Just like a radio sends and receives signals, your brain picks up the energy of other people's thoughts, especially in a mastermind group, and also broadcasts your dominant thoughts into the world. This is why focused desire, when backed by faith and emotion, can influence people, attract circumstances, and trigger unexpected ideas. Hill believed that the brain, when stimulated by emotion, especially faith, sex, and love, becomes magnetized, capable of picking up ideas and infinite intelligence beyond logic. In short, your mind becomes a magnet. So here's the next question. If thoughts are that powerful, how do you protect your mind from negative influence and fear? That's what Chapter 13 is all about. The sixth sense, the final step that unlocks your intuition and inner genius. Chapter 13, The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Temple of Wisdom. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. In the final step of Napoleon Hill's 13 Principles, he introduces the most mysterious and least understood concept, the sixth sense. What is it? Hill describes the sixth sense as an undefined sense, an intuitive spark, a sudden flash of insight, a quiet whisper from within that helps you make the right decisions even when logic fails. It's not something you can force. It develops over time as a result of applying the previous 12 principles: desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, and the brain. When these are mastered, the sixth sense awakens and becomes your inner advisor. Hill calls it the medium through which infinite intelligence communicates voluntarily. It warns you of danger. It guides you toward opportunity. It helps you recognize truth instantly. This isn't magic, it's heightened awareness built through mental discipline, emotion, and purpose. Final thought. The sixth sense completes the success formula. It's where logic ends and genius begins. But Hill leaves us with one last challenge. Even if you master all 13 steps, one silent enemy can still destroy everything: fear. So here's the question. What are the 6 basic fears that silently control most people's lives, and how can you defeat them? That's what we'll uncover in Hill's final lesson, how to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. Welcome back to Invested Intellect. Before closing the book, Napoleon Hill gives one final warning. Even after mastering all 13 principles, there's one thing that can still stop you: fear. He calls them the 6 ghosts of fear. They are silent, invisible, and often unnoticed, but they destroy confidence, kill action, and block success. Here they are. 1. Fear of poverty, the fear of being broke or losing money. It leads to playing it safe, never taking risks, and settling for less. 2. Fear of criticism, fear of what others will think. This paralyzes creativity and makes people hide their goals. 3. Fear of ill health. This focuses the mind on disease instead of strength. It creates worry and weakens belief. 4. Fear of loss of love. It's the fear of rejection, heartbreak, or betrayal. It often leads to jealousy, insecurity, and emotional instability. 5. Fear of old age. The fear of becoming irrelevant, useless, or dependent. It creates a mental decline long before physical decline. 6. Fear of death, the most universal fear, and the one that prevents people from living fully. Hill says these fears are nothing but states of mind. And just like any thought, they can be replaced. His solution? Guard your mind against negative influences, especially from news, gossip, and toxic people. Build faith through daily affirmations. Take action, because fear vanishes in the face of movement. Final message from Hill. Your mind is your greatest asset. Control it, and you can control your life. And now, the big question for you. Which of these fears is holding you back right now? And what are you going to do to conquer it? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found value in this Think and Grow Rich series, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this journey with someone who needs it. This is Invested Intellect, where your growth begins with your thoughts.